DreamVision, between the changing of the guards. Greetings and trust you are well. I hope you are doing well and have had a good restful break over the festive season. I want to cover two dream visions I had. The one is from the 26th of December 2022 and the other is from the 1st of January 2023. I will cover the American dream vision first. It was covered and put in the comments section. Dream vision, America, December 26, 2022. Part of this dream vision only became known while typing it. There was a portion I did not understand until the insight of writing it down. This is the dream vision. From far above the earth, I see America below me. This is a warning dream vision and makes me concerned and ties in with the two dream visions of America. I see America is more vulnerable than ever before. I see her as a conveyor belt, able to send weapons while both east and west coasts lay wide open to the enemy. It was as if she had no protection at all, totally vulnerable at this stage. I saw China from the west and Russia from the east. I did not see an invasion, but I saw an image pop into both of those nations' minds, China and Russia at the same time. An evil thought to attack America while she is so occupied with sending these weapons on a conveyor belt. She is so concerned about sending weapons that she ignores her own security on the east and west coast. I do not think she sees this war in the same way Russia views this war. Perhaps too many Iraq and Afghanistan excursions have led her to believe war can never come to her doorstep, or that we live in a total different world where nations would not dare invade or attempt to attack her. I saw her sending weapons, yet her own defenses seemed weaker than Ukraine. Like a sitting duck. Perhaps it's because she thinks she can never be invaded or attacked. I saw America like a football, soccer field, wide open, the conveyor belt stretching across the ocean with weapons going on it to Europe. Then the thought comes into Russia and China's mind, some agreement to both invade it or attack it at the same time. The thought or agreement happened at exactly the same time in both those nations. One from the west, the other from the east, but it was as if this America, represented as a football pitch, was naked. Nothing to stop the enemy. It was ripe for the invasion. Her guard was and is down. She thinks they will never do it, or no one will dare do it, but the thought comes into the Chinese, Russians' mind. The exact way it played out was, I saw the continent of North America, but it was green like a football pitch. From the football pitch, this long conveyor belt stretched across the ocean, while moving and transporting weapons. I only saw one weapon on this conveyor belt. What that means I do not know. Perhaps it's a sign that they have run out of weapons or running low. This just came to me now while typing. It probably is an indication that their stockpiles are running low, hence only one item, but the conveyor belt was running like normal. Because I was so far above the earth, I could not recognize the weapon, but I believe it is those HIMARS rocket systems. It was not a tank, but I believe it is those HIMARS rocket system. I saw the conveyor belt send the last one. I believe it is the last HIMARS system, or when we see their HIMARS rocket system trickle down to the last few. This is when the thought will come into both Russia and China's minds to invade or attack, or both. Then I zoomed out and could see all the nations on Earth, and then two flashes appeared at the same time in both Russia and China. The sign of the communist flag in China lit up, the sickle and hammer. Both countries' maps lit up, and I saw the thought they both thought, invade or attack, and then I saw both sides of America's coasts are vulnerable and very weak. I do not know if they will act on it. It seemed if they would strike one on each side while she was preoccupied with sending weapons, and I believe when these HIMARS run low, this will be the signal. Now it could be a HIMARS system or it could be something else. The key takeaway here is that when the enemy sees the stockpiles running low, the speed at which equipment is shipped out, that the thought will come into their minds at exactly the same time. Now why it comes into their minds at the same time, I do not know. Is it an agreement, or have they sensed weakness, or is it the Almighty once again directing nations as he has always done? Only God himself knows. Perhaps this attack, collective attack, ties into what I saw, what was left of it in the end. Since the DreamVision from 2021 involved Russia and an invasion in Europe, and we see it taking place right now, and we see China and Taiwan picking up, during this period this may happen. Remember, most people did not believe an invasion in Europe would take place. Some people still believe Russia will lose or has lost. The same people will not believe it could ever happen to America. So the interpretation is, when China and Russia both see that the amount of arms and shipments are slowing down, it will be a signal for them both to attack. Now, again, this is not scripted, and I am thinking off the top of my head, tying all this in here as I type. If we look at Russia's strategy for the past 10 months, the West keep on saying they're losing because it's taking them ages to achieve their objective, but the DreamVision has revealed the real objective. Which seems obvious, yet no one will believe the most obvious reason for drawing out this conflict. Both China and Russia are monitoring the conveyor belt to see how many weapons America has and is able to supply. They are drawing it out to see how long America can last supplying weapons for before they strike, once they see the empty conveyor belt. It will signal to both of them, and this is when the thought will come into both of their minds. When it trickles down, watch out, the strike could come fast and furious. The commies within America are getting America to send all her weapons as fast as possible to draw down her stockpiles. Once it slows down, it will be the signal to Russia and China. I am not sure if it is a signal or the thought gets put into their minds at that point to launch an invasion. Please pray for America. God protect America. Before I discuss the DreamVision from the 1st of January 2023, I want to add the following. When I had the DreamVision about Boris Johnson putting on army uniform, and where I heard the words clearly in the DreamVision say POWs. When I asked in the DreamVision what does POWs mean, I heard Polish weapons. At that stage, when I mentioned it, it sounded strange, but then we saw it literally fulfill. When I had the DreamVision, as strange as it seemed, once it took place, we quickly saw where that DreamVision slotted in with the other DreamVisions mentioned on the channel. The dream of Johnson putting on army gear literally fulfilled right down to the very last detail at exactly the same time that Poland was getting weapons. You can see the video online here on YouTube by doing a search for Boris Johnson training in army gear to see it before your eyes from last year. We also know why this dream fulfilled, and it was because of Russia. By this dream fulfilling, it actually performed a number of fulfillment. Once it fulfilled, we saw it was because of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, and the invasion is part of a series of DreamVisions about invasions by Russia and is the key thing in this channel. Russia featured in the first video put up on the channel when I saw a heavenly scroll open before me where I saw the words of the prophet Sina van Rensburg written in a heavenly language, and on it was his prophecy of Britain. Then the DreamVision about our century of bondage would end beginning in March 2020, and that we would run into our freedom. It included Russia, Stalin organs pointing towards Europe and Britain. The war machine was Russian. The being told me that it would take place in 8 months' time, and so it did. With the lockdowns taking place exactly virtually to the day of 8 months, and fulfilled the beginning of the first DreamVision of the laws being scrapped and world peace being broken. All these DreamVisions, I believe, fit into each other until the final fulfillment of events shown to me in February 2016 about the future of South Africa. I only mention it here because what I was shown in the January 1st, 2023 DreamVision is so bizarre and yet so telling, that should it fulfill, it can only be from the Most High. I imagine it will be fulfilled because no one will pay attention. Christianity is now removed from Britain, as the first DreamVision had foretold. When a woman can get arrested for praying in her head outside of an abortion clinic in Britain, you know how far you have sunk. I imagine that even if you told the intelligence community about these dream visions, they would scoff at you. Well, the dream vision told me to warn you, Britain, that should you remove your laws, should you remove Christianity, the foundation on which your nation was laid, you will be destroyed. I warned you it would include Russia, and I warned you about the heavenly scroll opening before me. I then warned you a second time in July 2019 about a threat coming. Now let us see how spiritually blind you are. Will you heed the warning, or has the Almighty already blinded you for removing your laws? And sir, I only mention this because this dream vision is so telling that it tells us how things will unfold should it take place. Dream vision from the 1st of January 2023, between the changing of the guards. This is one of the most amazing dream visions I have had to date. The amount of detail in it was amazing, and so many things about it make me marvel. I was not expecting to have a dream vision on the 1st of January. This dream vision woke me up after 4 hours of sleep. There is a lot to describe in this dream vision. This might take a bit of explaining to get the full picture. I am in a building. For some or other reason I leave this building heading to another building, but I have to cross a road and then cross another main road, very busy road. Somehow, again this I do not know, but I had to carry a cat with me in my arms while leaving this building, crossing one road and then a main road to this other building. Why I had the cat is another story. I am more of a dog person, so what this symbol means I do not know. Now, if you have ever carried a cat for some distance, you have to hold it a certain way to avoid getting clawed and scratched to bits. You also know how cats react to any noise, so the entire ordeal of carrying this cat was something else. I managed to carry the cat out the building, across the road and then across an even busier road, and eventually land up at the building. This is a military building. The entrance of the building is large. The inside of it looks like an old inner train station from the 18th century that has been converted. The ceilings are very, very high, and the reception area looks like that of a hotel but very wide. I walk into the train station. I am looking for a bathroom. I find the closest bathroom, and in the bathroom it is equipped with a rack that lowers from the wall to place a baby on when mothers wish to change their nappies. I place the cat on the rack or fold-able tray made for babies. I begin looking in my pockets for money. I put my hand in each pocket and realize I have left the money back in the other building. The thought now comes to me, oh no, I have to carry the cat back with me across the busy road, then the other road, get the money, and then repeat the entire mission again. So I decide to walk to the reception area. In the corner of this large building was only one small reception area, but there is glass covering the main reception desk for security. You can speak through the glass. There are holes in the window, like the glass you find protecting bankers or cashiers in banks or casinos. I go there and ask the man behind the reception if he wouldn't mind looking after the cat, and I explain the story of how I would have to walk back with the cat and repeat the journey. He says no problem. Now at this stage, I leave the cat with him and walk through the corridors of this building, and soon I find myself deep in this military building, and then I am caught between Russian and British intelligence officers, cadets and soldiers on one of the floors higher up in the building. On this corridor, which is pretty narrow, in front of me, on my left-hand side, are the British walking down the corridor towards me, their shoulders almost touching the walls, and on my right-hand side are Russian soldiers, also their shoulders almost touching the walls, heading or walking away from me, but both are walking at the same time in opposite directions, but none of them look at each other while walking to their posts. I begin to follow the Russian intelligence officers, cadets and soldiers. Out of the blue, my mind focused on one Russian. I see he sticks his hand into his pocket and pulls out a key while walking. I see while the Russians are waiting, pausing before moving on, he slips this key into a keyhole in this wall and turns it. Suddenly a well-hidden door, a door opens up. This is a door painted red, but it is so neatly designed that you would not notice it in this wall. You would really have to